will create 10 million jobs in the next 10 months, and it'll be higher than that. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and surge federal prosecutors into high-crime communities. We will ban deadly sanctuary cities and ensure that federal health care is protected for American citizens, not for illegal aliens. We will have strong borders, and I've said for years, without borders, we don't have a country. Don't have a country. Strike down terrorists who threaten our people, and keep America out of endless and costly foreign wars. We will appoint prosecutors, judges, justices who believe in enforcing the law, not enforcing their own political agenda, which is illegal. We will ensure equal justice for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. We will uphold your religious liberty and defend your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. And if we don't win, your Second Amendment doesn't have a chance. I can tell you that. I have totally protected it. We will protect Medicare and Social Security. We will always and very strongly protect patients with pre-existing conditions, and that is a pledge from the entire Republican Party. Thank you, Kevin. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, and further reduce the cost of prescription drugs and health insurance premiums. They're coming way down. We will greatly expand energy development, continuing to remain the #1 in the world and keep America energy independent. And for those of you that still drive a car, look how low your gasoline bill is. You haven't seen that in a long time. We will win the race to 5G and build the world's best cyber and missile defense, already under construction. We will fully restore patriotic education to our schools and always protect. We will always, always protect free speech on college campuses. And we put a very big penalty in. They do anything having to do with your free speech, colleges have to pay a tremendous, tremendous financial penalty. And again, it's amazing how open they've been lately. We will launch a new age of American ambition in space. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to plant its beautiful flag on Mars. This is the unifying national agenda that will bring our country together. So tonight I say to all Americans, this is the most important election in the history of our country. There has never been such a difference between two parties or two individuals in ideology, philosophy, or vision than there is right now. Our opponents believe that America is a depraved nation. We want our sons and daughters to know the truth. America is the greatest and most exceptional nation in the history of the world. Our country wasn't built by cancel culture, speech codes, and soul-crushing conformity. We are not a nation of timid spirits. We are a nation of fierce, proud, and independent American patriots. We're a nation of pilgrims, pioneers, adventurers, explorers, and trailblazers who refuse to be tied down, held back, or in any way reined in. Americans have steel in their spines, grit in their souls, and fire in their hearts. There is no one like us on earth. I want every child in America to know that you are part of the most exciting and incredible adventure in human history. No matter where your family comes from, no matter your background in America, anyone can rise. With hard work, devotion, and drive, you can reach any goal and achieve every ambition. Our American ancestors sailed across the perilous ocean to build a new life on a new continent. They braved the freezing winters, crossed the raging rivers, scaled the rocky peaks, trekked the dangerous forests, and worked from dawn till dusk. These pioneers didn't have money, they didn't have fame, but they had each other. They loved their families, they loved their country, and they loved their God. When opportunity beckoned, they picked up their Bibles, packed up their belongings, climbed into their covered wagons, and set out west for the next adventure. Ranchers and miners, cowboys and sheriffs, farmers and settlers, they pressed on past the Mississippi to stake a claim in the wild frontier. Legends were born: Wyatt Earp, Annie Oakley, Davy Crockett, and Buffalo Bill. Americans built their beautiful homesteads on the open range. Soon they had churches and communities, then towns, and with time, great centers of industry and commerce. That is who they were. Americans build their future. We don't tear down our past. We are the nation that won a revolution, toppled tyranny and fascism, and delivered millions into freedom. We laid down the railroads, built the great ships, raised up the skyscrapers, revolutionized industry, and sparked a new age of scientific discovery. We set the trends in art and music, radio and film, sport and literature, and we did it all with style and confidence and flair, because that is who we are. Whenever our way of life was threatened, our heroes answered the call. From Yorktown to Gettysburg, from Normandy to Iwo Jima, American patriots raced into cannon blasts, bullets, and bayonets to rescue American liberty. They had no fear, but America didn't stop there. We looked into the sky and kept pressing onward. We built a 6 million pound rocket and launched it thousands of miles into space. We did it so that two brave patriots could stand tall and salute our wondrous American flag planted on the face of the moon. For America, nothing is impossible. Over the next 4 years, we will prove worthy of this magnificent legacy. We will reach stunning new heights, and we will show that the world, for America, there is a dream, and it is not beyond your reach. Together we are unstoppable. Together we are unbeatable, because together we are the proud citizens of the United States of America. And on November 3rd, we will make America safe. safer. We will make America stronger. We will make America prouder. And we will make America greater than ever before. I am very, very proud to be the nominee of the Republican Party. I love you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump officially accepting the Republican nomination to be the presidential candidate for November's election, most important election in the history of our country, he said. The speech went for well over an hour. It was the keynote speech, of course, of the Republican National Convention, but we did hear from Donald Trump earlier in the course of the four-night event. Among the pledges in his speech, Donald Trump said he'd build up the economy, protect America from all threats, and said that the US would produce a vaccine for COVID-19 before the end of the year, or maybe even sooner. He also attacked his Democratic rival, Joe Biden, calling him weak and a destroyer of America's jobs, saying he spent his entire career on the wrong side of history. Listening to the speech was Jay Newton-Small, who's the Washington correspondent for Time magazine, and Jay joins us now from Washington. Jay, it's very late for you there, so thanks for being with us. Overall impressions of the speech?
Well, he made a record in 2016 for delivering the longest acceptance speech in history at 75 minutes. He, I think, nearly came close to beating that record tonight. It's a very long speech. It is really warm here in Washington, D.C. tonight. It's about 87 degrees. You could see he was starting to sweat pretty profoundly, even halfway through that. And so it was certainly a very long and rambling speech. And this is something that I think Trump is known for in his rallies, is to deliver these 90-minute, very rambling, kind of off-the-cuff kind of speeches. But he hasn't had a rally in a while, not since the sort of Oklahoma, well, he's had a few, but they've been very controversial because of COVID, and he hasn't been able to have the kind of rallies that he really likes to have with the enormous crowds. And so for him, this was almost a substitute for that, having 1,500 people on the White House lawn, as you can see in your imagery. And it is striking, though, in a time of COVID, to have so many people gathered so closely, very few of them with masks on. It was certainly a speech that was very dark, although his 2016 speech was also incredibly dark, very doom and gloom, if you don't reelect me. And that's striking to see, that he's the incumbent saying, you know, basically, you need to reelect me to make America great again. And that's, I think, kind of a hard case to make, frankly, because he has been running the country for 4 years. But he's trying to sort of say, if you reelect me, I will make the economy great again, as if it was, you know, since it's fallen behind during COVID, I will make America great again, give me this opportunity. And that seemed to be the case, comparing himself, as you said, to Biden as a weakling, a socialist in disguise, a Trojan horse for socialism in the United States, all of which Biden actually isn't. And so there were a lot of factual issues with the president's speech, but that's also pretty par for the course for Donald Trump. And I think, you know, he's always, you know, very hard on message with these kinds of speeches, where he has a teleprompter and he is talking to, he's talking to an audience that is, this speech is very planned out, like the State of the Union speech, versus his more freewheeling kind of speeches that you hear him give. And you kind of saw that switch halfway through, where he kind of stopped really reading the teleprompter, leaned more in, and talked more off the cuff, where he started attacking Biden a little bit more and talking about his second term, keeping in mind that a lot of the things he spoke about in the second term are really not going to be able to happen in the second term. So, for example, he promised he would create 10 million jobs. That's I think every economist in America would tell you that it's almost impossible to do in 10 months' time, which is what he promised. Also promising to send Americans to Mars. That's definitely not going to happen in 4 years' time. So there were a lot of sort of grandiose promises, but that is also Donald Trump. He made the same promises in 2016, and that worked for him then, and he's betting it's going to work for him again in 2020.
There's been criticism, Jay, of Donald Trump, hasn't there, for making this speech tonight from the White House, from the South Lawn of the White House, and we're seeing fireworks